So good morning, everyone. Let's today talk about the most widely spoken topic, which is model context protocol, and some of the common topics that are getting discussed widely. So there are three major points that I wanted to talk. You can call them as like big myths that currently are being discussed about MCP. So, in short, what I'm hearing, right? Like, a lot of people are misreading it. They are asking if MCP is another API, or there is a lot of confusion, like on tools and the agents. Some are say assuming tools themselves are agents, and many are actually ignoring half of what MCP actually offers. So let's take these 3 points and let's go with and start understanding what we are talking about. So first one, is it another API? Is it another another protocol that we are going to use in the technical landscape, right? I've literally been asked this question quite a bit these days. That is MCP another REST API concept, or is it just another API that we are going to learn and use? Because I don't blame people, because if you look at many of the demos, it looks like that, right? Like you're calling a tool, and then what happens is you get a result. So it looks very familiar to what we used to get in our API, good old API implementations. But I think what we need to understand is MCP is very uh, model facing. Its job is to let LLMs use tools safely and with context. So think of API you walk into a restaurant and you order a pizza and you get one pizza delivered, right? So it's like one request, one response sort of. But MCP is more like that personal assistant who is inside the dining area, who could help with your seating arrangements, check with your preferences, dietary needs, what time would you want to, like say, wrap up or get a reservation, and keep track of your preferences, etc. So it does a lot more than actually what the API does. So technically, we need to understand that MCP tool, what it does is it defines preconditions, it defines outcomes, and it then does affordances. That means you can use it to execute a particular task. It surfaces context, which is very important, with like prompts and resources, and it not just inputs. It just doesn't really only focus about the inputs and outputs. So that's where you need to understand the major difference between APIs and MCPs. We can talk a lot about this maybe in separate videos, but this is the first thing that you truly need to understand. The 3 points that I spoke about, right, which is the preconditions, the outcomes, and the affordances. That's where you actually work significantly when dealing with MCPs. The second one, we can quickly go into it. It is actually this interchangeability that tools are agents, agents are tools. So this myth is also going around. I know in a very simple way, if you have to look at it, take a hammer as a tool, and all it does is it executes a task, right? Like it basically has to just drive home a nail, sort of. But the agent here is the carpenter, right? The carpenter is the one who uses the hammer to complete a task. So the carpenter here is the planner who evaluates and then gets the job done. So that is what you need to understand. And in if I have to roll back to the MCP context, so tools are very deterministic executors. They just run, correct? Agents are more like the planners that we saw in the first point. Also, they choose which tool. They evaluate results. They in fact retry if needed, and are also they keep human in the loop for any help that is required. So if you're building any agentic system, so you need to first have a control loop outside the tools. That is very important. You need to have clear success checks and stop conditions for the agent, because you really need to have that control guardrails in place. you also need to have traces of each loop to debug or audit. You don't want to be lost in a chain of loops where you don't know where exactly the issue manifested in the first place. So if you blur this line, right, you end up expecting a single tool call to magically act intelligent, which doesn't actually happen. It won't really happen. So you need to have that clarity on how each of these loops are executing. So follow these protocols diligently when you're dealing with agentic AI system, and if you are working with a lot of agents interacting with MCP. The third one is again, this I don't blame anyone, because the moment we hear MCP, we hear agents, we hear a lot of tools. So what happens is uh, it sounds like as if MCP is just about tools with all the JSON files in and out, sort of. But frankly speaking, MCP also has resources, prompts, and they are just as important as the input and the output. So it's like saying that your phone is just what is it? It's like it's not just your apps that make your phone, right? Like it's not like one single app or two apps that make your phone. It's a set of apps that actually define your phone. So if you are going to have your mobile phone, it comes with let's say a calculator app, it comes with your reminders, it comes with your alarms, and a lot of multiple other social media apps and others, and that all of them together is what make it look like a sophisticated device in your hand, right? So MCP is very similar. The resources are they are structured artifact agents. They can actually read, write, like files or tickets. They can do a lot of those things. They can do, as I already told, prompts. So they can do a lot of reusable versioned instructions. You can test them, roll back. All those are also feasible with the MCP capabilities. And the third one, which is very important, is elicitations, right? So they are very much structured human in the loop. They structure the human in the loop flows for when the model is unsure. So that is a key aspect that gets blended into MCP when it is done correctly. So you need to keep that aspect very clearly embedded when you're designing your MCP system, when you're designing your agentic AI systems following MCP protocols. So if you end up ignoring, let's say, any of these, um, what will happen is you lose the context, you lose in many cases the auditability, and most importantly, according to me, the human checkpoints. So that's something that you really don't want to do. So in best practice, I would say at least expose at least one resource type, manage the prompts like the code that we manage, and also define elicitation flows for low confidence paths, because that is very critical. You really need to be tracking those low confidence paths, or at least have a human in the loop in that situation. So that's the 3 points that I really thought we should talk about today. So just to recap, MCP is not another API. It's actually a bridge between model reasoning and let's say and deterministic execution. Tools aren't agents. We have already seen it. So tools execute, agents plan, evaluate, take feedback, go in loops, etc. And MCP, the last point, it's not just about tools alone. It's tools. Obviously, that's like the layer, the lowermost layer. But there's a lot of resources, prompts, elicitations, guardrails, and all those aspects come together to define MCP ecosystem. If you design these with these principles, I think you will move from really the fragile demos to enterprise grade, reliable, auditable, stable AI systems. And I think that's the way we all need to go about when it comes to MCP. I hope this video really helps you get a bit more flavor about how you should think about MCP. Again, these are very early thoughts. As I and many of my colleagues, we start working more deeper and start implementing more use cases, there will be more learnings, and I will definitely share them. I hope you found something useful. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.